Hey there, this is Chris, and I'm going to show you how to hook up the Z-Moto DVR. This is an 8-channel DVR, and this is pretty much the same process probably with multiple brands, but this happens to be a Z-Moto. It's an 8-channel unit that came with 4 of these bullet cameras, and the one that I got did not have a hard drive with it, so I actually bought an additional hard drive. Okay, this is what it looks like with the hard drive installed. And while I was doing this, I thought of another advantage of buying your own hard drive, and that is you know exactly what's going into it. This is a very inexpensive system, and you can see there's a very small motherboard inside. There's really not much to it, and it was relatively inexpensive without the hard drive. I think it was $139. So the advantage is if something goes wrong with this DVR, I could replace it very easily and just swap the hard drive, and I still have a good hard drive, which I paid over $90 for. One of the things you have to note is that you do need to get one of it's a hard drive that's meant for audio-visual surveillance systems, so it's meant for continuous use like that. Now, one of the other things I've done is I've connected the power supply here. I connected the mouse, which is a USB. It comes with a pretty inexpensive mouse, but it comes with a mouse. And I've also connected a VGA cable to a spare monitor that I had. And I'm actually going to power up the system at this point and see if the hard drive works. Okay, here goes nothing. No smoke. No hard drive available. Click OK to format first. I'm going to click OK. It actually didn't take too long to format the drive, but this is what it says when it's done. I click OK, and the unit is going to restart with the hard drive now. Alright, this is what the video camera looks like when I took it out of the package. And you can see I connected the BNC cable and the power cable to the cables at the back. And I just pulled out a little bit from this this bundle here just to set it up and test it. And what I did is I plugged in, like I said, the red one is plugged into the power, and the yellow one goes into the back. This is channel number 1. It goes right into the back. And when we look over at the display, we can see that we not only show a picture there, which you can see that's my hand. In addition, there's an R there, which means that is recording. Now, there's something else I want to tell you about. I opened up another camera here, which I'm going to actually be putting at my front door. And one thing to realize is that the DVR has the capability of recording sound with video, but the cameras don't have microphones in them. So you can actually buy, this is an add-on microphone that actually hooks up to the camera, or you can put it on top of the camera, or however you want to do it in your installation. I'll show you how I do mine in a moment. But on the other end, it comes with 3 connectors. One of them is the sound, which is this white connector. The other are power. One is for power in, and the other is for power out. One's female, one's male. And so I'm going to hook this up, and I'm going to show you how this works. Now, one of the other things I had to do, and by the way, I got this just from Amazon. It was really pretty inexpensive, about $8. But I did have to get a different type of cable. I told you that they came with 6 60-foot cables. I'm sorry, 4 60-foot cables. That cable doesn't have the sound on it. It just had power and the BNC, the video connector. So for us to have sound, you need to get a new cable. And you can get these on Amazon as well. I think this one cost about $12 for 100 foot, which is more than enough that I'm ever going to need for my application. But that's okay. It's better than being too short, so that's why I went with the 100 foot. But I'm going to hook this up and show you what it looks like. This is pretty straightforward, but the video comes from the camera and it goes down the yellow BNC connector on the video, on the cable. The other side, which is the power, is going to hook into the microphone, and then from there it's going to go to the power that would have normally gone to the camera. The other side is actually the audio, and this just happens to be red and white just to confuse you. But the bottom line is, here's the microphone, and it's hooked up, and you can actually see that the second camera actually works. That's my hand in front of the second camera. To mount the microphone in the camera, what I did was I raised that shield at the top just by loosening that screw and stuck it in underneath there, ran the wire to the back. Now the rest of it's going to be hidden, you'll see in my application, by the front door, but the good thing about it is that it has a microphone now, and not only is it going to record video, but it's also going to record any conversations that might take place at the front door as well. So one of the things you're going to need to do in order to record audio is you're going to have to go into the menu. I did that by right-clicking with the mouse, and into the record settings. And on here you'll see audio at the bottom is set to enable or disable. It takes up more space on your hard drive if you record audio. So I think by default it comes disabled. But I've enabled it, and I clicked apply, and now I know that audio is being recorded. One of the most challenging things is to run the wires and hide them and protect them. But if you have siding on your house like I do, you find that you have a lot of areas where you can actually run wire. So I'm going to put two cameras here, one facing in this direction and one facing the side of the house, because I have two basement windows here. And so this corner is actually going to hide two wires for me running down. And so I fed them down inch by inch, and they eventually came out the bottom of that corner channel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run them underneath the siding over to the where the air conditioning lines go through the concrete wall. I just chipped out what the contractor had put in, and you can see I have a snake sticking out of it. I'm going to attach all the wires to it with tape, and I'm going to pull them through the wall, and then I'm going to make sure I caulk up that hole really good. It's my front door, and there you can see the first line of defense is that camera there, and that one has the microphone on it, so it records all the audio from the front of the house, and it is actually a very sensitive microphone. Now the interesting thing about this is running the wires. When you have to do the installation of the cameras, that's always the challenge. So from this angle you can see the camera over there by the front door. As I said, the wire runs along that channel, zigzags around the corner, and comes down the channel right next to that downspout. It then goes underneath the siding, and it's stapled underneath the siding, following to the back of the house, where I join it up with wires from two other cameras. I have one facing this way, so I get the gate, and the other one facing the back, so it gets the back door and our sunroom here. And the wires, all of these come down through this corner channel, and they come out down the bottom. In fact, I'll hold it down here. Not sure if you could see it, but those black wires come down, and I fed them in through the foundation by the air conditioner over there. I found that to be the easiest thing to do, rather than punching another hole through the concrete. Now on the garage side of the house, I have another camera up here in the corner, and it faces out so that it gets the entire driveway and even a visual of the street. And in the same way as the other ones, I ran the cable down that J channel and underneath the siding, and I leveraged an existing hole that was already down there and fed the wire into my garage and snaked it into the basement. It's not easy to do, takes time, but if you do it, and you do it right, you get a nice view 24 hours a day. This is an interesting addition. It's actually a wireless camera that I put on my shed, and it's facing the house. And that way, I already had power in the shed. All I needed to do was plug in a power adapter inside, and the video signal is transmitted wirelessly to the DVR in the basement. And this prevented me from having to trench a cable out here to the shed. And it's a very good quality camera too. It cost about $70 on Amazon. Here's an example of the picture quality and sound from the front door camera. It sounds better when you listen to it from the DVR than it does on this video, but you can still tell what everybody's saying, and it's pretty clear. I'm very, very pleased with it. And this is the finished product. This is Command Central from my basement where I have the DVR, which is right next to this here. And the DVR is hooked up to these speakers just so that I can hear the sound coming from the front door. And it works very well. It allows me to come down here and review video. I'm using a computer monitor for this that I had. I can review video. I can change the settings on the DVR, etc. I'm in the process of hooking the DVR up to a television upstairs so that I don't have to come all the way down here. And you can also access it from any computer in the house too. One thing that I've noticed, the DVR does have the capability of motion detection so that it will actually only record when motion is detected. Right now you can see it's recording all the time. It's got those R's, the red R's in each one of those pictures. It means that it's recording. So you can set it up so that it only records when it sees motion. What I found is that the motion detection is really meant for inside, where you can tell that you're not going to get a whole bunch of natural occurrences of motion. And outside, because of the way it works, trees moving, clouds going by, squirrels, dogs, you name it, there's a lot of things that cause motion. So from the photographic perspective that the DVR uses. So bottom line is, use it sparingly, otherwise it'll just cause you a whole lot of false alarms. You'll wind up getting a ton of email that you really didn't want. So here's a picture of the Zmoto app running on my iPhone, and you can see that I can view 4 cameras at the same time. I have 5 right now. I can always swap out one of those quadrants to be a different camera if I wanted to. And you can double click and actually zoom it, and this is what it looks like when you just zoom into one of those cameras. And so I currently have the system set up so that it only detects movement at the front door and has a very small motion detect location. And what it'll do is it'll send me a text, which is delivered via email, but I can send a text to my phone from an email account. It sends me a text that actually attaches a picture, so I can actually see a snapshot of whatever that motion is that it detected. And that gives me a time spot that I can then go back in time and look at the video from that period of time. And there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed this and found it informative, and good luck with your system.